One of the ways to gain confidence is knowing that your miss isn't going to be that bad of a miss. And it starts with the intermediate point. I tell people this all the freaking time. People forget it all the freaking time. The intermediate point is your guide to get your alignment, your setup focused. Because when I'm just sort of looking here, I see all of that. I see all of that I'm going to hit along. It gets too overwhelming. But if I choose a very specific point down here, like a foot in front of the ball, that is on the path, the direction that I want to hit the shot, my mind, my focus basically gets narrowed to just think about this. It's a simpler task for me to try and get my ball over that specific intermediate point. Not only that, about alignment and aiming, it's going to help me track my golf swing a little bit more, because I want to be releasing my swing over that intermediate point. The ball is going to be going over that intermediate point. That alone will help you hit straighter drives. But there's one thing that we can learn from tour players that can benefit you, and that is about dispersion. Knowing what your dispersion is. And it might not be as bad as you think. Whatever level of golfer you are, we all have a dispersion. Like from the good shots to the bad shots, we need to allow the worst shots to not be too bad. And where we point has to take that into consideration. The better the golfer you are, the less dispersion, right? But sometimes you're going to have bad days where you're not feeling totally confident. Maybe there's huge trouble that you really want to avoid. But as a general rule, 4 fingers will give you about sort of 40 yards or so of width of fairway, maybe about 50. I would suggest most of you start on 5 fingers or 6 fingers. And what you see I'm doing here, I've got them sort of outstretched in front of me, okay? I've got my ball right in the middle of my chest as I'm setting up, right? Make sure I've got that there. So I'm choosing the dispersion. So if I'm wanting to be like right down the middle, just left of that tree, let's say, and that's the middle of my shot. If I miss it a little bit right, I'm out of bounds here, I'm out of bounds here, okay? That's going to be a bit of a pickle. So I'm going to aim this way to make sure that my bad shot isn't going to go out of bounds, and my bad shot to the right and my bad shot to the left is not going to be in any trouble. I could even, depending on what distance I want to hit it, I could aim a little bit further left. And what I do is choose the middle finger here to be directly over the ball, and that is the middle of my aiming because I'm allowing that dispersion. So I go in the middle here and I draw my line back over the ball onto that intermediate point. And what this does, it makes me realize that I've got a pretty big window to hit in. And as long as I hit it in that window, I am going to be just fine. Now sometimes there might be water, there's going to be bunkers, there's going to be trees, so you have to adjust. But really allowing yourself that dispersion will take off so much pressure. And what that does, it gives you more confidence to actually just swing and release through without trying to steer it or worry too much. It helps you execute. And confidence really does overpower so much technique a lot of the time. So practice this. You can practice it on the range, whatever you may be. And I've got the arms sort of outstretched. That's about the distance because you want to sort of calibrate it yourself. But you'll be very surprised at how much this helps you off the tee. And it can help on the greens, but we'll talk about that some other time. So I've got my dispersion. Now I choose my intermediate point. Then I go through the setup routine, the little checkpoints. I know what backswing key I want to try and do. And now I'm going to go back and swing through. I should draw around. That's a nice little drive. Let's piece all this together. I've got my dispersion. I'm going to find my middle, safe middle. I've got my intermediate point down here. I'm taking my setup, hip up, ball position, driver head a little bit further back, nice and tall. Now I'm going to make a backswing where I keep my chest down. Then I'm going to slowly lower and release those hands to a nice high finish. That'll do. That's the fairway finder with that power fade that I was talking about. It's just easier when you do it that way.